you have successfully logged in to AWS. And I can admit, the first time you do this, the welcome screen can be a bit intimidating. And also, as with anything that's user-facing on the web, potentially by the time you're next time logged in, this will have looked differently. So let's first of all, let's ignore the middle screen right here, and let's start at the top left corner. We have the AWS icon here. Obviously, clicking it will always get you back to this landing page. We have a grid with services, and this is even more intimidating because you can see a list of all AWS services grouped into various categories. So we have blockchain, you have databases, obviously you have machine learning, Internet of Things, even quantum technologies, robotics, and satellite. And you can see here some recently visited services. You can also see your favorites if you have any. We'll go through favorites in a second. And you can also see the list of all of these services. I think it's like more than 200 at the time of this recording. Probably by the time you see it, it's going to be even more. They add them almost every day. And even if they don't add a new service, they surely add functionalities to existing one. But that's not something to be too concerned with. Here, the search bar. So this is a very important bit, because obviously once you're logged in, you should pretty much know what you're looking for. So even if you don't know what you're looking for, you can always try something generic like database, and you will see the search is pretty intelligent, and it will give you services, but it will also give you features of other services that in some way pertain to what you're searching for. And you also see docs to documentation. Again, a lot of stuff shoved in your face, but let's just do this one step at a time. Moving along the toolbar, you see this little icon right here. This is a very neat functionality. It's called Cloud Shell. So basically, what this does, it spins up an environment for you in AWS with a couple of their tools already pre-installed. So if you prefer to interact with your services with the CLI, you can do that directly from here. So the AWS CLI is pre-installed. So let's say you want to list your S3 buckets, you can do it. You can do it from here. Pretty neat. You don't need to configure anything locally. If you want to test something really quickly, that's how you can do it. Also, if you're in a pinch, I don't know, like accessing AWS from your iPad, and you desperately need to interact with AWS using a CLI, you can also do it through Cloud Shell. Okay, let's close it. Next one, the bell icon. So this gives you the notifications. I don't have any recent notifications, but you can see the health events. So if there were any issues in the AWS environment that could affect you, let's say an availability zone is down, and we're going to talk about availability zones in a second. If there are any scheduled changes, you can click on those notifications, and you can see that, for instance, Lambda planned lifecycle events is going to happen on June 12th, and what resources are affected. So you should definitely check the bell icon every now and again. Also, if you have any alarms in your account, you will also see notifications regarding these. If, let's say, one of your alarm has changed state from normal or nothing wrong to an alarm. Okay, so let's get back to the landing page. Next one, the question mark icon. Also a lot of stuff, a lot of external links, but the one that you should remember is the support center. If you go here, this is the place through which you can create cases for AWS support. This is obviously very neat. If you have questions regarding account or billing, technical, anything else, you just go through here, fill out the details, and depending on your tier, whether this is a business account or an enterprise or just a developer account, there are different SLAs, and you can but definitely you one way or another you will get an answer from AWS. What else? The cog icon. So you can see there are settings here. You can, AWS comes in, various flavors when it comes to languages. So you can pick and choose whichever one you prefer. We're gonna stick to English US. And also you can change the theme. So if you want to go pro, you can do that. You can change from light to dark, and boom. This is quite recent feature. Obviously, yeah. If you prefer to interact it like this, you can change it here. I will stick with light. There are some more user settings, so check out these. And here, very important drop-down icon showing the region in which you are in. So AWS operates globally, and let's just check it real quickly on their official page. And their infrastructure is divided into regions, which are further divided in availability zones. You can see there, all over the place. So, we're looking at North America here. You can see you have a Canada region, Canada Central, because there's also Canada West, a couple of regions in the US. GovCloud, this is for government and government customers. Northern Virginia, the OG region, so we can see launched in 2006. You see the number of availability zones, local zones, wavelength zones. So one thing to remember is that a region is a physical, locality. So, the one in Northern Virginia is in US in Northern Virginia. And each region is further broken down into availability zones. So you can think of a availability zone as a data center. So a grouping, a cluster of, various buildings. You have servers, you have networking, electricity, all of that there. And each of these AZs, as we call them for short, is independent of one another, although they are interconnected within a region. So you can see North Virginia has 6, but some other regions have, Northern Carolina, you can see 3, Oregon 4. Local zone is something else, and wavelength zone is something else entirely. But just remember, for now, AWS operates in various regions around the world. You can see there, in Ireland, there, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and each region is further divided into availability zones. So if you're here in AWS right now, we're in Ireland, but if we want to switch our region, we do it through here. It's very important because sometimes you will work with AWS service, let's say with EC2, which is their server virtual machine offering, and let's say you have a server operating in Ohio, but I don't know, for some reason your region is pointing at South Korea, and you may be in a situation where when you want to see your resources, you're in the wrong region, your resources are not there, and you're scratching your head because you think maybe something has happened, but no, they're just living somewhere else. Okay, in the top right corner you can see the name of your user or the AWS role that you have assumed to log in. You also optionally will see either the name of the account or the 12-digit number of the account. The account number is not really a secret, but it's rather a best practice to not share it publicly, although nothing like will happen if that information was to made public. We have some eye icon for some other info regarding the console home, and one of the latest features here, icon for Amazon Q, so AWS assistant, AI assistant, and I think it's still in preview, although I don't see an indication here. Needs some permissions. Can now listen, describe your AWS resources and continue. Okay, so let's give him the access. And basically, if you're swamped because of the level, the complexities that you see here, you can always and also AWS documentation is great, but I appreciate that the first time you deal with it, it's also very much overwhelming. So if you prefer interacting with the chatbot, with AI assistant, you can just, let's say, you can ask it a question like, what is an AWS region? And it should spit an answer in a reasonable amount of answer back in a reasonable amount of time. So we can see AWS region is a physical location around the world where AWS data centers are clustered. Each AWS region consists of blah, 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 and you can see all of that here. A very neat feature is that it will give you sources. So if you want to further check whether it's not hallucinating, or if you want to check additional data, you can do that. Very neat. You can always you can give feedback, you can ask follow-up questions. You can also let's say you want to play more with Cloud Shell, which I showed earlier. So let's say how to list all my EC2 instances using AWS CLI, and hopefully we're gonna get a command back. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And you can see here command, so you can just copy it. You can open your Cloud Shell instance. Come on. And you can see it's opening a different region because I changed region to Seoul. Okay, paste, boom. 0 instances. Yes, that's because I don't have any EC2 instances in this particular region. Okay, what next? Some other cookie preferences, terms, another link for Cloud Shell. And in the middle screen, I told you to not get too acquainted with what you see here, because basically you can customize the look and feel of it. So AWS has widgets. So you can see what I have here. I have recently visited services, some blog posts, AWS Health. You can see cost and usage. So also, it's a great idea to have this, let's say, as a main widget, so you can see your monthly costs, you can see your forecasted costs, a lot of stuff like that. You can see some quick links to building a solution, also some great material you can access, and many more. One more thing that I haven't mentioned: if you click here on your user, you can copy the account ID, you can copy either the username or the role you're using, but more importantly, you can access info regarding your account. So you can see your various settings regarding your account. Even you can see what AWS regions are available to you. And organization, but we won't go there now. You can see sort of service quotas, but let's omit these as well. Billing and cost management. This one is very important, but this one is a topic for another lesson in itself. But it's here. Okay, so to wrap up, a lot of stuff is going on, but from the main screen, search bar. Remember that you have a search bar, so you can search for AWS services you want to access. You have quick access to AWS Cloud Shell. You have your notifications, you have your settings, regions, and also access to billing and cost management. Thanks, and see you in the next lesson.